In June 2023, Teach Rare joined an event in Taiwan that brought together 30 families with the ultra-rare neurotransmitter disease AADC Deficiency. In attendance was Professor Hu, a pediatrician and geneticist whom all the families knew very well. Professor Hu led the research for a gene therapy known as Upstaza, which is currently approved in the EU and UK, and hopefully, very soon, the rest of the world. During the event, we were able to interview Professor Hu for a few questions regarding the past and future of AADC deficiency. This now is the interview with Professor Hu.
Hello. Can you start by telling us your name and provide us with a brief introduction?
So my name is Prof. So I'm a pediatrician, genetics, and also a professor in this field.
As a child, what made you become interested in neurology and genetics?
I think genetics is a very interesting field because I'm quite engaged in research and in pediatric field. I think genetics require the most researches. So it's the reason that I get involved in genetics. And we call it the neurogenetics. Actually is the most difficult group of pediatric disease. And many of those diseases, they don't have a treatment. Because I'm doing research, but certainly my first goal is to find research for those diseases.
How did you first get involved with AADC deficiency?
So we do pediatric disease and we also do screening. What I mean is a newborn screening. So one of the disease we call the phenylketonuria is one of the most important disease in newborn screening. And subtype of PKU is a cofactor deficiency. We call this tetrahydrobiopterin or BH4 deficiency. Actually, it's called neurotransmitter deficiency. So for quite a long time, we are familiar with those diseases. We give medication like a DOPA to our patient with malignant PKU, for example. So when a father of a patient of AADC deficiency, when he came to me asking about if we can treat the disease, actually I immediately understand the disease is AADC deficiency, it's a neurotransmitter deficiency. And at that time, we also know some about the gene therapy. So then we get into this field.
So this is when you started exploring gene therapy?
Yes, but we were interested in gene therapy for quite a while. So we try to learn about the new technology. So we joined the international meeting to listen to people talking about gene therapy. So we have good idea of that. But first in hand certainly is for AADC deficiency.
Can you give us the background on how gene therapy became an option for children with AADC deficiency?
Gene therapy, people talking about gene therapy for quite a long time. For example, we can put gene back to blood cells and put the blood cells into our body. Is kind of like a bone marrow transplantation. Yeah. But the other development is a vector. We call this AAV vector. So AAV vector is a very interesting vector. So it can enter cells, including neuronal cells, easily, and the vector will not replicate in the cell. So it's a very safe method. So for in very short time, and people understand that AAV gene therapy should be the best choice for gene therapy for neurological disease. including disease that involving the brain.
In your opinion, what does the future look like for future AADC families?
So first, I think the first thing for us is to put this treatment into a standard treatment. For example, in Taiwan, so after the completion of the clinical trial, patients don't have treatment. So get the treatment into market in Taiwan, also in the United States and in other countries. I think is the first thing that we are working very hard. With that, then we may have the tools that we can treat patients with reimbursement. We may be able to treat patients in even younger ages. So currently, we have a robot that have a potential to operate children maybe as young as 1 year. But certainly, the current treatment is a partial treatment. We understand that the disease is a systemic disease. Not only the pigment, also the brainstem, our adrenal gland, they all need either dopamine or serotonin or other neurotransmitters. But currently, we only treat one place. Yeah. But certainly, we will try to first to understand the limitation of current treatment. If we get a chance, we will try to treat those unmet locations of the patients.
Do you have any tips for children on becoming a neurologist?
But certainly, you need to get interested in the brain. So the brain is a very complex organ. And the second, you need to have the character of exploratory character. You want to approach things that you don't know, because it's still a lot in the brain that we don't know.
Thank you.